Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our third week in our class, Life and Works of Rizal. So, for today, we're going to talk about Rizal's life, higher education, and life abroad. So, for today, our learning objectives is number one, for you to be able to recall Jose Rizal's higher education and journey abroad. Number two, describe Jose Rizal's characteristics during his higher education days. And number three, discuss critically the importance of the literary works of Jose Rizal. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, let's talk about his higher education. So, formal search for knowledge at Ateneo Municipal. So, Rizal entered Ateneo Municipal when he was 11 years old. 4 months after the execution or pagbitay sa Gomburza, at si Doña Teodora during this period is still in prison or nakakulong po. His father wanted to send him to Colegio de San Juan de Letran, but later decided to have him enrolled at Ateneo Municipal, which is formerly known as Escuela Pia. And after passing the qualifying examination, Rizal was able to be admitted at Ateneo Municipal. So, his enrollment at Ateneo. Father Mahin Fernando, the college registrar, was at very firm in denying Rizal's admission. So they have planning to decline to not accept Dr. Jose Rizal being a student at Ateneo. But due to the intervention of Manuel Burgos, the college registrar finally admitted the young Jose at Ateneo. So he adopted the surname Rizal at Ateneo. So his name is known as Jose Rizal. And then, since he is from Calamba, Laguna, and he is studying at Manila, so it will really take time during that time to go home, or in Tagalog, mag-uwian. So he boarded in a house on Caraballo Street, a 25 minutes walk from the campus. So hindi kalayuan. At he enrolled as well the course Bachelor of Arts High School in Ateneo. So this is the course that he took up there at a very young age of 11. Okay, so you would see how smart Dr. Jose Rizal is. Now, let's have a quick glimpse of the Atenean system of education during that period. So, during that time, the system of education is Jesuit system. So, dahil sa ang mga namumuna yung mga parang Jesuita, ipinangalan sa kanila yung system na sinusunod nila. Atenean teachers enforced a program of dividing a class into two competing empires. The Romans, yung mga borders within Ateneo, and the Carthaginians or the non-borders, yung sa labas nakatira. And then there are rankings of two Athenian empires. So the highest one will be emperor. You're at the top. Next will be tribune. Third would be the Curion. Fourth will be the Centurion. And the fifth will be the standard bearer. So, how was the academic performance of Rizal at Ateneo? So, during his first year, his first professor in Ateneo was Father Jose Beck. And he was placed at the bottom of the class since he was a newcomer. And kilala siya bilang isang little Spanish. Okay? However, at the end of the month, dahil nga sa angking katalinuhan niya, he become emperor of his empire. So you see, starting at the bottom, he became at the top. That's how his journey went during his first year. And then Rizal took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during noon or tanghali or even the recess to improve his Spanish language. And he only paid 3 pesos for those extra lessons, guys. So you see how cheap tutorial during that time compared nowadays, you'll be paying 5,000 and above just for your kids to be tutored. And at the end of his first year in Ateneo, with all his grades marked as sobresaliente or highest of all high. However, he was still placed as a second. And then summer vacation went. Rizal didn't enjoy his summer vacation because his mother was in prison. So his sister Neneng Saturnina brought him to Tanawan. So usually, during that time, kapag summer vacation, students go home. And apparently, wala nga si nanay niya at nakakulong. Dinala siya ng kanyang kapatid sa Tanawan. And after summer, he returned to Manila and he now boarded in a different place. He boarded in Intramuros at number 6, Magallanes Street. So now let's go on to his second year, sophomore. So his interest in reading books began during his second year. And one of his favorite books during that time was The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Also, he loved reading The Universal History by Cesar Cantu. And on the sophomore summer vacation, there was a prophecy of his mother being released in prison. So you see, gaano katagal ikinulong ang kanyang ina. Moving on his third year, junior years, he only won a single medal in Latin. Pero his grades were still excellent. So you see how he is being deprived of the awards that he really deserved because of his current status, as we all know. And then on his final year, okay, he became a Roman, an interno, because of the help of Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez, who inspired him to study harder and to write poetry. And by the end of his 4 years at Ateneo, he won 5 medals and an excellent rating. So hindi man niya nakuha lahat ng karangalan, but still, 5 medals is still 5 medals, and having that excellent rating made him at the top or gave him an edge against the others. So on his last year, he was the most brilliant Atenean of that time. And the Jesuits were really proud of him. And on the 23rd of March, 1877, he received from his alma mater, Ateneo Municipal, the degree of Bachelor of Arts with highest. Now, let's also look at his academic performance furthermore at Ateneo. Rizal's academic triumph at Ateneo can be attributed to 3 factors. What are those? Racial pride. Alam naman natin, he's not purely a Spaniard. He still have the blood of Filipino, a little bit of Chinese from his dad. So, alam mo yun, nagtatalo-talo. Kahit na alam na ang mga Pilipino nun ay sumasailalim sa mga Spanish, still, there's this pride moments from the other blood that's running from his veins. Monastic discipline, because we all know as well that he grew up near a church. So talagang alam niyo yung pagiging relihiyoso at pagsunod niya sa relihiyon. o sa turo ng Panginoon and the seclusion of boarding school life. So it was really different, okay? Kasi you're living on your own compared to those na alam mo yun, they are studying at the same time living with their family. So Rizal needs to be strong during the time na mag-isa lang naman siya doon, 'di ba? And he needs to compete academically and showcase his skills and talents. Rizal was able to carve the image of the Virgin Mary and the Sacred Heart of Jesus during that time. So you see how talented Dr. Jose Rizal is. Mahilig magbasa, nahilig din siya sa pagsusulat, mga tula. At the same time, he was able to learn how to do sculpture. And mind you, those two are, hindi siya ganun kadali para i-carve. He also joined the Academy of Spanish Literature and the Academy of Natural Science. So, dun din naman pala na enhance yung kanyang skill sa literatura because during that time, he joined Academy of Spanish Literature where mas lalong humusay sa pagsusulat o kung sabihin natin ay pagkatha ng mga literatura in Spanish, okay? And also, kaya nga din siya nahilig sa iba't ibang branches of science simply because he also studied on the Academy of Natural Science. So as you can see, this is the image of the Virgin Mary on a batikuling wood and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Okay, requested by Fray Leonard. So ito po yung kanyang iniukit nun. And if you will be counting his age 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, can carve this kind of masterpiece, he is really one of a kind. So ano yung mga literary works na nagawa ni Dr. Jose Rizal during his stay at Ateneo? So the first one is Mi Primera Inspiración or My First Inspiration, Un Cuerdo de Mi Pueblo, In Memory of My Town, Al Niño Jesus, To the Child Jesus, Through Education the Country Receives Light, and The Intimate Alliance Between Religion and Good Education. So after he studied at Ateneo de Municipal, he also went at the University of Santo Tomas. So let's talk about his enrollment at UST. So he enrolled philosophy and letters in UST for a year, 1877 to 1878. And he also enrolled in Ateneo again with the course Perito Agrimensor. And he decided to shift in medical course in the same school, which is in UST, because he was advised by Father Pablo Ramon, the academic performance at UST. So, hindi niya natapos ang philosophy and letters because he was advised to shift to medical course. And how was his performance at UST? Rizal's academic performance at UST was not comparable with how he fared in Ateneo. His unhappiness at UST can be traced to three factors. First, the hostility of the Dominican professors to Rizal. Compared with the Jesuits, medyo iba ang pakikisama ng mga Dominican priests to him. Dito na rin siya nakaranas ng racial discrimination against Filipino students and the obsolete and repressive method of instructions at UST. Compared with Ateneo, medyo nahirapan, naipit si Rizal sa pag-aaral niya. Kaya hindi kaanong nag-excel kumpara nung nag-aaral siya sa Ateneo. Results and satisfactory performance can also be attributed to the exciting distractions of beauty experience as a student in Manila. Bakit? Kasi po, that is the time that Rizal became fascinated with women during his student days. Dito niya nakilala ang mga sumusunod na kababaihan kasama sina Segunda Katigbak, si Miss L, Leonor Orang Valenzuela, at si Leonor Rivera. So, what are the important literary works of Dr. Jose Rizal as a university student? First is A la Juventud Filipina, El Consejo de los Dioses, Junto al Pasig, and A Filipinas. And we could also talk about his liberalism and a Filipino student at UST. The influx of liberal ideas of Dr. Jose Rizal can be attributed to the opening of the Suez Canal and the opening of the Philippines to the world trade. So, naging mas liberal mag-isip si Dr. Jose Rizal dahil nga dun sa pagbubukas ng Suez Canal na kagaya ng aking na-discuss sa inyo na mas nagpadali pa ng kalakalan sa ating bansa at ang pagpasok na rin ng Pilipinas sa world trade. So, let's also talk about the first taste of Spanish brutality. One dark night in Calamba, during the summer vacation in 1878, when Rizal was walking in the streets and dimly perceived the figure of a man while passing him, not knowing the person was a lieutenant of the Guardia Civil, he did not salute nor say greeting. With a snarl, he turned upon Rizal, whipped out his sword, and brutally slashed his back. Buti na lang, hindi ganun kalalim ang naging espada sa likuran ng ating pambansang bayani. Rizal reported the incident to General Primo de Rivera, the Spanish Governor General of the Philippines at that time. But nothing came about dahil nga isa siyang Indio and accused was a Spaniard. Later in a letter to Blumentritt dated March 21, 1887, he related, I went to the Captain General, but I could not obtain justice. My wound lasted 2 weeks. So dahil nga sa estado niya, hindi niya nakamit yung hinihingi niyang hustisya. Now, let's talk about the decision to study abroad. After finishing the 4th year of his medical course at UST, siya mismo, si Dr. Jose Rizal ang nag-decide na mag-aral sa Espanya. He could no longer endure the rampant bigotry, discrimination, and hostility in the University of Santo Tomas. And he did not seek his parents' permission and blessing to go abroad. At maging ang kanyang kasintahan na si Leonor ay hindi na hininga ng permiso. And now, let's talk about Rizal's life abroad. So let's start with his departure to Spain. So on the 1st of May 1882, Rizal started writing farewell letters to his friends and family. And when that time occurred, Pasiano gave him the allowance. Saturnina gave him a diamond ring. When Rizal left Sweetheart for Spain to pursue his medical studies, he bade his goodbye, promising to marry her upon his return. And during that time, isa ng binata si Dr. Jose Rizal sa edad na 21, while Leonor was just a minor at the age of 15. And on the 3rd of May, 1882, he left the Philippines for the first time to Spain and boarded on SS Salvadora. And this is the image of the ship where he boarded. So, unang dinaanan muna, di ba, or stopover was Singapore. So, on the same day, 3rd of May 1882, during the trip, there were 16 passengers. He was the only Filipino at ang karamihan ay Spaniards, British, and Indian black. And the captain of the ship, Donato Lecha, befriended Rizal. Hindi naman kasi mahirap kausapin si Rizal, hindi rin mahirap maging kaibigan. So that is why he gained lots of friends during his whole life. And on the 9th of May 1882, he docked at Singapore, where he stayed at Hotel de la Paz and he stayed there for 2 days. And then, after that, his next destination before going to Spain will be at Colombo. And that is on May 11, 1882. He boarded two other ship that named Gemna. It's silent D. Okay? And on the 17th of May 1882, he arrived at Punto de Gales. He wrote in his travel diary, "The general appearance of Punto de Gales is picturesque, but lonely and quiet, and at the same time, sad." Maganda daw ang itsura ng Punta de Gales. Ngunit tahimik, malungkot. And let's talk about his journey through the Suez Canal. So, from Colombo, the Gemna continued to voyage crossing the Indian Ocean to the Cape Coast of Africa. At nakita rin niya ang barren coast of Africa while boarded sa Gemna. And on the 27th of 1882 May, he landed at Aden, Yemen at about 8:30 in the morning. And then on the 2nd of June 1882, he arrived at the Suez Canal route to Marseilles. The Gemna took 5 days to traverse the Suez Canal. Dr. Rizal was really thrilled because it was his first trip through this canal na binuo ni Ferdinand de Lesseps. Naples and Marseilles. June 11, 1882, Rizal disembarked and accompanied by a guide. He went around the city of Naples, which is located in Italy, for an hour. Nag-ikot-ikot siya dahil nga may stopover ulit. So, to kill time, and he was really interested. Kaya nag-ikot-ikot siya. This was his first European country where he set foot on. And on the 12th of June 1882 at 10 p.m., sumakay naman po siya sa barko at the Marseilles. Maraming lugar siyang binisita during that time. He visited the famous Chateau d'Elf, where Dantes, the hero of Monte Cristo na kanyang binabasa at paborito, ay nakulong. And on the 15th of June 1882, in the afternoon, Rizal left Marseilles to proceed to Spain via train. At ayun na nga po, dumating na po ang ating pambansang bayani sa Barcelona on the 16th of June 1882 at exactly 12 noon. Rizal arrived at Barcelona and boarded or stayed in Fonda de España. Filipinos in Barcelona are some of his classmates in Ateneo who welcomed him. They even gave him a party at Cafe Plaza de Catalunya. So maigi na lang, may ilan siyang kakilalang kaklase niya dati na sumalubong at binigyan pa siya ng welcome party. So, ano ba yung mga works ni Rizal nung nasa Barcelona siya? Una, Amore Patrio or Love of Country. It is an essay, and his inspiration in writing this is his country, the Philippines. It was published in Diaryong Tagalog, a Manila newspaper which is edited by Basilio Teodoro. It was published in two texts. First is in Spanish, and the second was in Tagalog, which was translated by a good friend of him, Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Sumunod naman po ay ang Los Viajes or Travels which tackle the rewards gained by people who are well traveled to many places in the world. Pangatlo ay ang Revisita de Madrid or the Review of Madrid. It spoke of a liberal-minded and anti-friar Filipino who bears penalties such as exile. So, ang kapalit ng mga kumokontra nun talaga ay pag-exile o pagpapaalis sa sarili nilang bansa. And then, on September 2, 1882, Rizal moved heading to Madrid. So, from Barcelona, he needs to go to Madrid in order to continue his medical studies. On the 3rd of November 1882, he arrived at Madrid and he enrolled at the Universidad Central de Madrid. At makikita sa larawan ang ilan sa mga kilalang Pilipino rin na nakasama niya dito. Rizal was really bright because he enrolled in two courses, medicine and philosophy and letters, which yung hindi nga niya natapos, natapos naman niya pero una niyang kinuha pala sa UST. Studies painting and sculpture as well at the Academy of Fine Arts of San Fernando. He also took lessons in French, German, and English under private instructors. So ayon ni Rizal na magkakaroon siya ng, kumbaga sabihin natin, bakanteng oras na hindi natututo. So iba't ibang kurso ang kanyang kinukuha upang mas lalo pa siyang maraming kaalaman. And he even practiced fencing and shooting at the Halls of Arms in Sanzi Carbonel. And he also joined the Círculo Hispano-Filipino. On Saturday evening, he visits the home of Don Pablo Ortiga y Rey, where Rizal then had a love affair with Consuelo Ortiga y Perez, the daughter of Don Pablo. So as you can see in here, his romance with Consuelo Ortiga y Perez on the 22nd of August 1883, he composed a lovely poem to Consuelo entitled A la Señorita. And Rizal backed out for two reasons. Hindi niya itinuloy. Bakit? Kasi nga, alam naman po natin na siya ay engaged. Nangako siya kay Leonor Rivera. His friends and co-workers in the propaganda movement, Eduardo Delete, was madly in love with Consuelo. So, mapagbigay naman po pala ang ating bayani. At dahil nga ang kanyang kaibigan, may gusto sa babaeng kanya dapat liligawan, nagpaubaya po ang ating pambansang bayani. So, what are his works during his stay in Madrid? The first one is Mi Piden Versos. They asked me for verses. Dr. Jose Rizal's longing for his native land, the Philippines. And they claimed during New Year's Eve reception, which was held on December 31, 1882. And then on March 1883, he joined the Masonic Lodge called Acacia. Si Rizal po ay isang Mason. And on November 1883 naman, he transferred to Lodge Solidaridad, wherein doon niya na na-achieve yung pagiging isang Master Mason. June 1884, he finished his medical education. He was conferred the degree of Licentiate in Medicine. And because nga napakatalino ng ating pambansang bayani, he passed all his subjects leading to doctors of medicine, but was only able to get his doctor's diploma in 1887. So it took him 3 years. June 1885, he was awarded with the degree of Licentiate in Philosophy and Letters by the Universidad Central de Madrid, and again, his rating was sobresaliente or excellent. And after that, he decided to go to Paris and then to Berlin. He went to visit Paris and Germany in order to specialize in ophthalmology. Dahil nga sa nag-take din siya 'di ba noon ng kursong natural science, nahilig siya sa pag-aaral ng siyensya at nag-focus siya more on ophthalmology. And he worked as an apprentice or clinical assistant of Dr. Louis de Wecker. Rizal spent many happy hours in the studio of Luna. Luna discussed with Rizal's various problems in art and improved his own painting techniques. Rizal posed to some paintings of Luna. He was one of the Egyptian priests in Luna's painting The Death of Cleopatra. And on the 1st of February 1886, he left Paris for Germany. So noong nasa Paris siya, doon niya nakasama si Juan Luna at naging magkaibigan sila to the point na nagiging subject siya sa ilang mga pinipinta ni Juan Luna. And his first place that he went at Germany was at Heidelberg. He arrived there on the 3rd of February 1886, which is considered a historic city in Germany. He worked at the University Eye Hospital under the direction of Dr. Otto Becker, and he still attended lectures of Dr. Becker and Professor Wilhelm Kuhn at the University Eye Hospital. And on the 9th of August 1886, he left the city. And then let's talk about his stay at Leipzig and Dresden. On the 14th of August 1886, he attended some lectures at the University of Leipzig, and he even befriended Professor Friedrich Ratzel and Dr. Hans Meyer. On the 29th of October 1886, he left Leipzig to set course on Dresden, where he met Dr. Adolf Meyer, the director of Anthropological and Ethnological Museum. Meron pa rin isang kagilagilalas na kaalaman si Dr. Jose Rizal dahil nga nag-aral din siya ng anthropology at ethnology. Kaya marami rin siyang na-discover na, ano mo yun, life forms dito nung bumalik siya. He stayed only 2 days in the city. The Holy Mass in the Catholic Church greatly impressed him, for he wrote, "Truly, I have never in my life heard a Mass whose music has greater sublimity and intonation." And on the 1st of November 1886, he left Dresden by train, reaching Berlin in the evening. So now, let's talk about his stay at Berlin. November of 1886, he was enchanted by the scientific atmospheres and the absence of racial prejudice in Berlin. Ibang-iba ang pagtrato sa kanya nang dumating siya sa Berlin, where he met Dr. Fedor Jäger, a great scientist and the author of Travels in the Philippines. He also met Dr. Rudolf Virchow, known to be the father of modern pathology. And during his stay there, he written one of his most important letter na naka-address para sa kanyang kapatid na si Trinidad. At dito na nga natin pag-uusapan ang Noli Me Tangere na na-published sa Berlin. Noli Me Tangere was solely dedicated to the Philippines. He described the Philippines as a patient with cancer, that even with the most careful touch, it awakens in it the sharpest pain. Kumbaga sa salitang kahit anong alaga ang gawin mo, eh nandoon pa rin yung sakit na naramdaman nila na minsan ay bumabalik pa dahil sa mga mapapait na alaala. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. It is the novel that inspired Dr. Jose Rizal to prepare a novel that would depict the miseries of the people under the lash of the Spanish tyrants. February 21, 1887, Noli Me Tangere was finally finished and ready for printing. And a month later, Noli Me Tangere came up the printing press. Berliner Buchdruckerei Action Gesellschaft. It is the printing shop na pinaggawan ng Noli Me Tangere na may pinakamababang charge na at ang rate ay 300 pesos for 2,000 copies of the novel. So during that time, napakalaki na ring halaga ng 300 pesos. But then, ano nga ba naman ang malaking halaga kung naimulat naman ito ang mata ng bansang kanyang sinisinta? Maximo Viola, siya ang tagapagligtas ng Noli. As a token of his appreciation and gratitude, Rizal gave Viola the galley proofs of Noli, carefully rolled around the pen that he used in writing. And may dedication po iyon. And it states, "To my dear friend Maximo Viola, the first to read and appreciate my work, Jose Rizal." Napakaswerte kasi nasa kanya yung manuscript, maging yung ginamit na pluma sa pagsusulat ni Dr. Jose Rizal. And now, let's tackle his grand tour in Europe. So first, let's talk about his journey in Dresden. So on May 11, 1887, one of the best cities in Germany, as per Rizal, they spent together with Viola most of their time in Dresden. Their visit coincided with a regional floral exposition. Rizal studied different plants because he was interested in botany. They also visited the Museum of Arts, and Rizal was deeply impressed by the painting of Prometheus Bound, which is a Greek mythological tragedy. And then, dito papasok si Blumentritt and Leitmeritz. On the 13th of May 1887, at 1:30 in the afternoon, Rizal and Viola arrived at the railroad station in Leitmeritz, Bohemia. There, Professor Blumentritt waited for the two after he received a wire or tawag. He was carrying a pencil sketch of Rizal, which the letter had previously sent him. Ginamit iyon para makilala niya ang kanyang Filipino friend. And sino nga ba si Ferdinand Blumentritt? One of his closest friend and companion. And on the 16th of May, at the same year at 9:45, Rizal and Viola left Litmeritz by train. And they went to Vienna on the 20th of May 1887. And they arrived at the capital of Austria and Hungary. Vienna was truly the queen of Danube because of its beautiful buildings, religious images, haunting waltzes, and majestic charm. And after that, nagtungo naman sila sa Germany, and Rizal was amazed with the Cathedral of Ulm, the largest and tallest cathedral in Germany. And mula sa Ulm, nagpunta naman sila sa Stuttgart, Baden, and then Rainfall. Rainfall was the most beautiful waterfall of Europe as per Dr. Jose Rizal. After that, they went to Switzerland on June 2 to June 3, 1887, where they stayed at Schaffhausen. And then they went also to Geneva, which is the Swiss city that has the most beautiful places, considered as a beautiful city in Europe. na palaging merong mga world tourists na namamasyal. The people of Geneva were linguists. They know how to speak French, German, and Italian. And dahil nga magaling at matalino nga ang Dr. Jose Rizal, he was able to converse them using those three languages. Okay, for a moment, guys. We're having a challenge with our presentation. Just a second lang po. Ayan po. So, ituloy po natin ang ating discussion. Apologies for that inconvenience. So, as I mentioned, uh, from Switzerland, okay, pinuntahan nila ang mga syudad ng Schaffhausen at ang Geneva, kung saan Rizal showcased his skills in using the language that were used there, which is French, German, and Italian. So on June 19, 1887, it was his 26th birthday, and Viola treated him to a blowout. They spent 15 days in Geneva, where on the 23rd of June 1887, Viola returned to Barcelona while Rizal continued the tour to Italy. Now, let's talk about the Madrid Exposition. So during his tour in Europe, Rizal received sad news from his friends in Madrid about the deplorable conditions of primitive Igorots who were exhibited in this exposition. Some of whom died and whose clothings are inappropriate for the climate of Madrid. And crude weapons were objects of mockery and laughter by the Spanish people and also the press. And Rizal, being a champion of human dignity, was outrageous. Meron kasing mga ilang Igorot na ipinadala sa isang exposition sa Madrid. Doon sila pinagkatuwaan at alam nyo, hinamak-hamak. At dahil nga sa alam natin ang native nilang kasuotan, hindi akma sa lamig noon sa Madrid. At nang nalaman yun ni Dr. Jose Rizal dahil nga siya ay makabayan, makatao, nagpuyos ng galit ang Dr. Jose Rizal. Now, as mentioned, he continued his travel in Italy. So on June 27, 1887, Rizal reached Rome, and he was thrilled by the sights and memories of the Eternal City, which is also called the City of Caesars. June 29, 1887, he visited for the first time the Vatican, known as the City of the Popes, and the capital, Christendom. He was impressed by the magnificent edifice, particularly of St. Peter's Church, which was also feast day during that time. So may celebration, kaya mas na-enjoy niya ang paggagala sa Vatican. Every night, after sightseeing the whole day, Rizal returned to his hotel. Pagod na pagod. Kahit sino naman, di ba, na namamasyal. And you have experienced that kind of travel, gala. Mapapagod ka at the end of the day. So, he wrote to Blumentritt, I'm tired as a dog. Pero kapag magpapahinga na ako, I will sleep as a god. After a week of staying in Rome, he prepared to return to Philippines. He had already written to his father na pauwi na siya. And let's talk about his first homecoming, 1882 to 1887. During that time, Rizal was in Europe studying. During that time, he was allured, fascinated, and have all the beautiful memories throughout his sojourn. Pero, this will not make Rizal forget his fatherland and nationality. After 5 years of memorable adventure in Europe, on July 3, 1887, he left Rome by train for Marseilles. He boarded the steamer Gemna, which was the same steamer he boarded 5 years ago. The steamer was en route to the Orient via the Suez Canal, and ito yung pangalawang pagkakataon na nakita niya ang kanal. On the 30th of June 1887, inilipat siya ng another steamer in Saigon. Ang kanya naman nasakyang kasunod ay Hai Hong. Ito ay pa bound na to Manila. At August 2, the steamer left Saigon going to Manila. And on August 1887, nakarating na siya sa Pilipinas wherein he practiced medicine sa bayan ng Calamba. Let's talk about his arrival in Manila. So June 29, 1887, Rizal sent a telegram to his father about his intention to return to the Philippines. On the 3rd of July 1887, Rizal began his journey back to the Philippines. And Gemna, the ship Rizal boarded, the ship he boarded when he went to Europe 5 years ago was really remarkable kasi nga paalis siya patungong ibang bansa, pauwi siya, yun pa rin ang kanyang nasakyan. And home in Calamba. August 8, 1887, he arrived in Calamba, Laguna, kung saan sinalubong siya ng kanyang pamilya. At tinawag siyang Dr. Uliman ng kanyang mga pasyente dahil nga nabanggit ko kanina, dito niya pinractice yung natutunan niya sa medisina. To be specific, as an ophthalmologist. Rizal failed to see Leonor Rivera, his childhood sweetheart, his second love. Pero sabi-sabi, full cousins daw sila. Anak ito ni Antonio Rivera at ni Silvestra Bauson. Farewell again. Rizal was hated so much by the Dominican friars because of Noli Me Tangere and his intervention in the agrarian problem in the Hacienda of Calamba. Because of their hatred for Jose, ang ginawa ng mga Dominican friars ay ipinorse nila si Gobernador General Terrero na paalisin ulit si Rizal. And that time, he was sent to Hong Kong. February 3, 1888, Rizal boarded the ship Zafiro bound to Hong Kong. And as a stopover, on the 7th of the same month, 1888, he arrived in Amoy, China. He also traveled in Macau, where he rode Kiang, was the ship that Rizal and Fernando Baza boarded towards to Macau. And he arrived and left Hong Kong, okay, February 2, 1888, aboarding the ship Oceanic. Bakit? Dahil nagpunta din siya ng Japan on the 28th of February, 1888. He arrived in Yokohama where he stopped at the Grand Hotel. So, kahit saang bansa magtungo si Jose Rizal ay nagkakaroon siya ng sinisinta. Doon niya nakilala si Seiko Usui, the woman Rizal fell in love when he was in Japan. He gave the nickname Osei-san to Seiko. She was a lonely samurai daughter and she was 23 years old during that time. And across the Pacific, April 13, 1888, This is the date that he left Yokohama for America aboard the Belgic ship. Then, he was able to visit US April 28, 1888. It arrived at the city of San Francisco and nag-stay siya sa Palace Hotel. And lilipat naman siya nun sa New York and he shipped from New York to London. So talagang minaximize niya yung pagpapaalis sa kanya, nag-travel siya sa iba't ibang lugar. So during his stay in San Francisco, he was able to see the discriminatory treatment of the Chinese and the Negroes by the Americans. So grabe pa ang discrimination on against the blacks and the Ching Chongs. The steamer Belgic docked at San Francisco on Saturday morning, April 28, 1888, at lahat ng pasahero noon ay hindi pinayagang bumaba. The American health authorities placed the ship under quarantine. On the ground it came from the Far East kasi merong isang epidemya noon na cholera na talagang grabe ang pag-atake. Ang natatakot ang mga Amerikano na mahawahan sila. May 4, 1888, Friday afternoon, yun lang yung panahon na nakababa sila at nakapag-register nga si Dr. Jose Rizal sa Palace Hotel sa San Francisco. So across the American continent, May 6, he left San Francisco and went to Oakland. May 7 to 13, he wrote his diary, The Beautiful Memories from Nevada, Chicago, until he reached Albany. And the Grand Transcontinental Trip, on the Sunday morning of May 13, he arrived in New York, which ended his trip to America. He stayed there for 3 days and visited some scenic and historic place. And then after that, jumping to December 11, 1898, he went to Spain to visit Madrid and Barcelona, where he contacted his compatriots and surveyed the political situation. At siya po ay nagpasko sa London. He returned to London on the 24th of December and he spent his Christmas and New Year's Day with the Becketts. He even became the honorary president of the Patriotic Society cooperating the reforms called Asociación La Solidaridad, where it was inaugurated on the 31st of December, 1888. Rizal wrote several works while in London. These writings include La Visión del Fray Rodriguez and The Letter to the Young Woman of Malolos. And he also contributed some articles to Dr. Ross' journal entitled Specimens of Tagal Folklore and Two Eastern Fables. And he was able to have the Universal Exposition of 1989. This was a world fair held in Paris, France. And ano ba ang pinakakilalang attraction doon? Of course, the Eiffel Tower, which was made and constructed by Alexander Eiffel, a French engineer. Thousands of people from all corners of the world crowded every hotel and boarding house during that exposition. And there are 3 Filipino societies Rizal founded during that time. Una ay ang Kidlat Club, sumunod ay ang Indios Bravos, at ang RDLM Society. Isa pa sa mga works ni Dr. Jose Rizal was The Indolence of the Filipinos. He also became a member of International Association of Filipinologists with Dr. Ferdinand Blumentritt as the president. And nagpasko naman siya ng December 25, 1889 sa Paris. Rizal and Jose Albert planned to have a sumptuous Christmas dinner. They scrapped enough money to celebrate the Yuletide. So, kumbaga, gusto rin naman nilang maramdaman yung talagang spirit ng Christmas. So that time, may enough money sila, na i-celebrate nila kung ano talaga ang Pasko. January 1890, he went back to Paris. During that time, influenza was an epidemic throughout Paris. That is why on the 28th of January 1890, Rizal left Paris for Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium. Kasama pa rin niya si Jose Albert. They lived in a boarding house on the 38 Rue Philippe Champagne, which was run by two Jacobi sisters, Susan and Marian Jacobi. So ano nga ba ang naging buhay niya sa Brussels? During this time, he was busy writing his second novel, ang kilalang El Filibusterismo. At nagsusulat din siya ng ilang chapters at nagbabahagi ng ilang articles niya para sa La Solidaridad. And ano yung mga articles na na-published under La Solidaridad? A la Defensa, para sa depensa, April 30, 1889. La Verdad para Todos, ang katotohanan para sa lahat, May 31, 1889. Vicente Berantes Teatro Tagalog, noong Hunyo 15, 1889. Una Profanasyon, isang paglalapastangan, Hulyo 31, 1889. Verdades Nuevas o mga bagong katotohanan, Hulyo 31, 1889. Cruelda o mga kalupitan, August 15, 1889. Diferencias, mga di pagkakasundo, September 15, 1889. Inconsuencias, mga walang halaga, 30th of November 1889. Same as Lianto y Risas, mga luha at katatawanan. At ingratitudes o kawalan ng utang na loob, Enero 15, 1890. Ito yung ilan sa mga nilalaman ng La Solidaridad na ipinoblish ni Dr. Jose Rizal. So, pag-usapan naman natin yung new orthography of Tagalog language. Rizal was the first to advocate the Philippinization of its orthography. Instead of C and O, the Tagalog letters K and W should be used. And Rizal received news that the Filipinos in Spain were destroying the good image of their nation through gambling too much. Dahil nga sa isa sa mga ipinamana ng mga Espanyol sa atin ay ang pagsusugal or gambling, nalulong ang karamihan dito na ikinababahala ni Dr. Jose Rizal. He also received a letter from home na mas lalo nakapagpaalala sa kanya. Ang Kalamba Agrarian na naging issue noon ay mas lalo daw lumalala. The management of the Dominican Hacienda continually raised the land rents, yung pag-upa. And there are some things na kahit pa paano ay nagpasaya naman kay Rizal. Yung Summertime Festival ng Belgium at ang kanyang relasyon, sabi ko nga, hindi makakatakas ang bawat bansa sa kamandag ni Dr. Jose Rizal dahil nagkaroon din siya ng relasyon sa isa sa kanyang mga landladies, si Petite Jacobi. At nagtungo ulit siya ng Madrid noong August 1890. He tried all legal means to seek justice for his family and the Calamba tenants, but to no avail. Rizal sought to help the Filipino colony to protest the injustices of the Dominican against the Calamba folks. More terrible news reached Rizal in Madrid. Yung kanyang brother-in-law na si Silvestre ay naka-receive ng eviction order from the Dominicans. He also learned of the deportation of Pasiano, Antonio, Silvestre, Teong, and Dandoy to Mindoro. So grabe ang naging paghamak, pag-alipusta at ipit sa mga Pilipino lalo na sa mga taga-Kalamba noon. Sal almost had a duel with Antonio Luna. When Luna was saying unsavory remarks about Nelly, Rizal heard him and challenged him to a duel. Alam naman natin kung gaano ka sakit magsalita si Antonio Luna. Literal kung magmoral, literal kung manlibak. Na hindi nagustuhan ni Dr. Jose Rizal noon kaya hinamon niya ng duelo. At noong December 1890, naka-receive siya ng sulat mula kay Leonor Rivera na nagsasabi na siya ay magpapakasal na sa isang Englishman na nagngangalang Henry C. Kipping. At nagbakasyon si Jose Rizal sa Biarritz, isang resort city. He was the guest of the Bosted family, where he fell in love with Nellie Bosted, a daughter of the Bosted family. With the encouragement of his close friends, niligawan niya si Nellie. At sinagot naman siya ito. Nahulog din ang loob. Nagplano ng pakasalan ni Rizal si Nellie, but he failed. He wanted Rizal to espouse Protestantism o mag-convert, which is napakahirap nung panahon na iyon. He continued to work on his El Filibusterismo and completed its manuscript on March 29, the eve of his departure for Paris. And on the 5th of July 1891, he left Brussels for Ghent, a famous university city in Belgium. Tumira na lang siya sa isang locals boarding house at naging roommate niya si Jose Alejandro. He found out that G. Meyer Van Loo Press was willing to print his book on installment basis. Pero nasuspinde ang pagpiprint noong August 6. Si Valentin Ventura ang nakaalam ng predicament, kaya dali-dali siyang tumulong kay Rizal. At dahil sa kanyang tulong, naiprint ang El Fili at nagtuloy-tuloy ito. At noong October 1891, iniwan ni Rizal ang Europe. He went to Hong Kong, boarding the ship Melbourne, where he began writing his third, ngunit hindi natapos na nobela. Nanirahan siya sa Hong Kong ng 1891 hanggang June 1892. And he lived at 5 Diaguilar Street, number 2, Renaxela Terrace. Before the Christmas of 1891, he was gladdened by the arrival of his father, brother, and Silvestre Ubaldo in Hong Kong. Not long afterward, his mother, his sisters Lucia, Josefa, and Trinidad also arrived. Ito ang pinakamasayang sandali sa buhay ni Dr. Jose Rizal na magkaroon ng simpleng reunion kasama ang kanyang pamilya. At maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig at i-upload ko ang inyong activity for today kasama nito at that will also serve as your attendance for today. And with that, once again, thank you so much for watching our third lesson and hope to meet you face to face on our fourth week next week. So again, this is Prof. Brian. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful and safe day ahead.